Welcome to the program. I am your host, Andrew Wilkow. It is 8 p.m. here on the East Coast. At this time, normally you'd be getting a replay of my live 5 p.m. show, but because of breaking news, I hung around to go live at this time. And the reason being is the Colorado State Supreme Court has just ruled that Donald Trump is disqualified from the Colorado state ballot for the 2024 presidential election due to insurrection. The Supreme Court of the United States must act immediately to overturn the Colorado State Supreme Court, and I'm going to explain in perfectly executed political analysis. It does not matter what all of these legal analysts or all these current or former Harvard Law School professors like Lawrence Tribe say. Section 3 of the 14th Amendment is not self-enforcing. As a matter of fact, the proof is in Section 5, where Congress has authority through appropriate legislation to enforce the article. That's the whole article, not a separate piece of the article or section, the whole article. It does not mention the courts. It does not mention the states. It mentions the Congress. Congress passed a law called the Rebellion Insurrection Act, better known as U.S. Code 18 U.S.C. 2383. Donald Trump is not charged under that statute. No one related to January 6th is charged under the Rebellion or Insurrection Act. Therefore, Donald Trump cannot be guilty of insurrection since no venue has tried the case. You say, well, what about the Colorado Supreme Court? They didn't try the case. A lower court ruled that Donald Trump was an insurrectionist, but was not covered by the 14th Amendment. Even still, that was not the venue for charging that crime. Until a court in the jurisdiction, that would be the District of Columbia, charges Donald Trump under the Rebellion and Insurrection statute, and he is found guilty, he cannot be considered an insurrectionist. Now remember, he was indicted by the House of Representatives called impeachment, but he was not convicted in the Senate. The January 6th committee hearing was a one-sided affair, also not a trial. Not a single trial has taken place in a court that is empowered to decide whether or not Trump is an insurrectionist. This is not something the legal community, college professors, or state Supreme Court justice can just fill in. There is a statute, a criminal statute with criminal penalties in the U.S. Code, again, 18 U.S.C. 2383. That was the legislation that was born of the Section 5 powers that Congress granted itself when crafting the 14th Amendment. In no way, shape, or form can state boards of elections, governors, state judges weigh in on this. This is totally out of the realm of the Constitution. To think that this state, starting off what will be precedent, because obviously other Democrat states are going to follow, we are completely and totally out of the boundaries of the Constitution. This is, my God, the farthest we can get from the Constitution, a state court now simply ruling that it believes Trump's an insurrectionist when he's not guilty of any crime. And Democrats, I realize, are not thinking 10 miles down the road here. This now means that somebody can be declared guilty of a crime without ever being charged with the crime in a court of law, with no chance to defend themselves. So somebody could be declared a murderer, a thief, a spy, whatever it is, never facing a court that is empowered by jurisdiction to hear the case and make a ruling. Going forward, political accusations, political commentary, and the agreement of the legal community now is a stand-in for a right, fair, and speedy trial. That is now what has taken place, and other states are going to follow suit. We will be monitoring this throughout the evening on the Salem News Channel. Lord help us if the Supreme Court does not overturn this. You want to talk about fascistic powers? You want to talk about dictatorships? You want to talk about this is what democracy looks like, our democracy, American democracy, the republic? The Democrat Party is shredding it right before your very eyes by using political commentary, political accusations, now stand in for the carrying forth of a legitimate trial. A prosecutor files charges. Jack Smith is not charging Donald Trump with insurrection and rebellion. He's charging Donald Trump with obstruction of a government process and some bizarre reading of a Klan voting statute. Nobody that is in jail for January 6th has been charged under 18 U.S.C. 2383. No one, not a single person. We don't have a single person who's been charged, tried, and convicted under the Rebellion Insurrection Act. Not a single person. And there it is. The Colorado State Supreme Court has said, we have determined from Colorado that Trump in the District of Columbia is an insurrectionist. I don't know how the Robert Court is going to rule. I don't even know if they're going to take the case. This is all brand new. This is totally uncharted. This is news unfolding right now, live here on the Salem News Channel. But what I just laid out to you is absolutely factually accurate. Section 3 of the 14th Amendment is not, I repeat, not self-enforcing. Section 5 puts the power to enforce the article in the hands of Congress. Congress passed a law, a criminal statute with criminal penalties, under which no one has been charged. No one. Donald Trump was not convicted in the United States Senate for the bogus sham impeachment created by Nancy Pelosi, the Democrats in the House of Representatives. The Colorado State Supreme Court has no precedent to go on. They are just literally inventing an insurrection. If there was an insurrection, then it should be no problem for federal prosecutors to gather evidence and charge individuals with the crimes related under 18 U.S.C. 2383. Until such time, there's no insurrection. Therefore, Trump cannot be disqualified from the ballot. You could also point out that that was to deal with the Confederacy. There are no living Confederate veterans running for office. None. In that sense, it's kind of expired. But again, no court in this country has heard a case where Trump was a defendant on trial for rebellion and insurrection. This court is simply making it up. Trump was not a defendant in that case. For the state of Colorado to remove Trump from the ballot would be wholly unconstitutional. Stay with the Salem News Channel for more breaking news. My argument is coming up next.